with Miami next round. Okay, so for Miami, uh, this one usually is not a fan favorite, neither for the real race nor for the players. Very difficult track. Before we start the track guides, my best advice for you for Miami is unless you are really, really skilled, and I'm talking about an almost esports like skill, you're gonna have to respect this track. You have to come to this track with a plan and thinking long term because you are always so near the edge of losing the car here that if you risk it on almost every corner of every lap, I don't see this ending up well, especially when you begin to cope with tire wear for the race. So for Miami, the best advice is unlike contrary to looking for the utmost performance on every corner, look for a steady race line because on this track you have plenty of time to gain on your racing line. Sometimes it makes great deal of difference to go just a little closer to that wall. Okay, let's begin. So the lap here starts with this flat right-hander where you should begin your lap cutting the start-finish point in the middle and going across to the left. Okay, so for this one, always remember the advice to take as much space as you can. You will want to get your car to the left side of the track, go as further as you can get it, and you will do a hard brake on the 100-meter board. You will then guide your car to the apex. This first corner is the right corner, and you have to come here prepared to use a lot of trail braking and to use your brakes to keep the car steadily around the corners. If you do long grinds here, mainly on TT, you will notice that the further you take the laps, the better you feel at controlling the car with the brake. Okay, so before we finish this turn one, this first sector, if you bet on lower arrow, this first sector will be tremendously hard for you. It already is with a considerable amount of arrow. All the twists and turns really unsettle the car. Returning to the throttle is also very difficult here, and this will increase if you bet on lower arrow. So if this is your setting for this race, I have to advise you extreme caution on this first part of the lap. So, like I mentioned, the return to the throttle is very difficult, so you have to be patient. You really need to, you are not supposed to brake for this turn, but you really need to feel the point where the car is sticking to the track. Any overeagerness and you will definitely lose your rear. Car is very prone to rear snaps on this part. If you have done it right, then you should come across that left turn, take a little bit of curb, but your main focus will be getting the car steady for the turn three, for the right corner. As you probably could hear from the engine revs, I had a tremendous amount of difficulty returning to the throttle. In fact, this is where you can see the ghost of the lap I used here on TT, is where you can see it immediately gaining time over my lap. Really skilled people will be able to flow around this a lot differently. This is one of those places where you have to acknowledge your limitations and do your best with them. And here on this first part, I really can't go back to the throttle with a lot of confidence, so I kind of have to take the conservative strategy. Okay, so for this one has to be done flat using the closest line you can to that right curb. But be advised that you might feel snaps here. However, you have to do it flat. If you have to touch the brakes or lift the throttle, you will suffer here. So if you feel the car snapping, try to upshift and counter steer a bit. This usually helps keeping it on track. As you can see, I let it drive a little wide, mainly because I was feeling a lot of struggle keeping it steady. But this will mean this will mean that you will lose time on your lap. Okay, so for this one is a place where you'll have to be as daring as you can get. I did it with a small tap of the brakes, downshift to sixth, and your main focus here will be once again the racing line. Try to keep as close as you can to those curbs on the apexes. Those will be your references to mental this very tricky part. Needless to say, this one is also another place where you might snap your rear, especially if you are too aggressive with the steering wheel. It's better to control it around this part using the brake and the throttle. And also, obviously, if you have chosen the low arrow approach. Okay, this one, very interesting part. A lot of these new circuits are betting on this kind of turning and braking. This is all about feel. As you will probably notice, especially if you do those long grinds, this one will become better the more you do it. You just have to find that sweet spot where you begin braking, not in a very hard manner, in a very controlled manner. Your braking here will actually be meant to keep the car on that racing line, and you should downshift to fourth. The attack on the apex has to be done with the best exit possible. This is the key point of the lap. If you mess your lap here, you will not be able to recover from it. So this is crucial, a crucial part of your lap. As you can see, the downshifts are also very controlled. Remember, your priority here is keeping it nice and steady on the line you choose. This can be done, I believe, in different approaches, but whatever you do, keep it controlled with the downshifts, with the braking, and your priority is not how you attack this corner, is how you exit it. Around this point, you have to feel it steady so you can punch in that throttle and take all the advantage from the straight. You can and you should actually go through that curb, but not excessively, because there is, if I'm not mistaken, the risk of invalidating. Yes, there is. I remember, yeah, I invalidated a lot of laps here, and also this curb may unsettle your car if taken too abusively. No big secrets here. As usual, these long straights with small kinks, it's all about taking the shortest path available. A little after the DRS zone, you will see that you are supposed to go close to the left and let it go to the right on a straight path. This is how you gain time here. Okay. This one. So after this left kink, you should be going straight into the right, not turning to the right to prepare for the next corner. If you do it, you will lose time. Okay, this one is a very, very hard braking zone. Best advice, brake earlier than you think. This one is one of those places where you feel tempted to extend your braking zone, but your mindset will actually have to be the contrary. Brake earlier than you think. The overpass is a good reference, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, brake here is around a little before the 100-meter board. You can downshift to third to get a little more rotation, but depending on how you do this corner, you have to plan the next part. I did it on fourth, I believe. Let's see. No, actually, I did it on third. Okay, so if you do it on third, you will get more rotation, but your exit will be more unstable, and you cannot lose your focus for the next right corner, which is keep as close as you can to the wall. If you do this on fourth, you can use that extra downshift to help you on the right turn. If you have already exited here on third gear, then you'll have to play very carefully with your braking and throttle inputs. But your goal must be taking it as close as you can to the right. So as you probably heard, I did a little burst on the throttle, but then I had to keep it only with the steering inputs, because if you overdo it here, you will lose your rear. This is another very, very unstable point of the lap. The next part, you should be able to go flat for a little while, especially going over that left turn. It's you almost this can't be seen as a turn. You have to settle a straight path there and preparing for that awful section which will come next. Okay, one of the, I think, worst parts of the calendar. This is an abomination, but this is an abomination where actually there's time to lose and time to gain. From what I could see, the best way to gain time here, let me go slowly. The best way to gain time here is to, after this point, go completely forward. So you should be able to basically use this left turn to prepare that right turn. There's a big sausage curve there, but it actually pays off here to use it. Watch out for track limits. Forgot to mention this one is done in third gear. Also, this one, your focus has to be taking it as soon as you can all the way to the right to prepare the very tight left corner. This is indeed no, I hate it here, but this once again, this one is all about how you exit and how you floor it so you can take advantage of the big straight. So we're coming to the end of the lap, and the final part is also very hard. Um, Very harsh braking zone. Watch out because you might snap. If you miss the braking point, you will try to compensate with downshifting, and that will make your car snap. So once again, this is one of those places where you should brake earlier than you think. Focus on reducing your car speed so you can exit as steady as you can. It's very hard to return to the throttle here. So you if you feel that you can't do this corner perfectly so you can get that safe exit, that's okay. That's part of that long-term plan we talked about at first. You will not be able to nail this corner every lap, so try to focus on getting the exit as smooth as you can because the car will be very twitchy around this exit. This one is also done in third gear. Okay, as you can see, another place where it's very difficult to return to the throttle. If you have done it, if you have managed to do it safely, from now on it's all flat. You can mantle a bit the curb on the right turn so you can gain more time, especially on your Q lap. Okay, so it's not a very good lap. I will do something different today. So I've been asked to use after the guide show the lap going normally, and that's what I will do now. Okay, folks, good luck.